Okay.
Do you face any challenges trying to make new friends?
Yes.
How many best friends do you have right now?
I would count one best friend.
And when's the last time you tried to make a new friend?
It would probably be a few months ago.
A few months ago?
Yeah.
Now describe to me some of the challenges that you face trying to meet new people and make new friends and stretch it into the going out, hanging out, the social life.
I still view it as pretty daunting. I'm not the type of person that's able to do like small chit chat very much. I'm the type of person that gets pretty personal, pretty deep, pretty quickly. So, yeah, it's hard to. But at the same time, I don't want to be that way to a complete stranger, so it's hard for me to just break the ice and just say, "Hi, how are you doing?" Keep the conversation at the level of, of that which is appropriate for like a pretty much stranger, or that you're trying to get to know, and then not to mention I'm very introverted by nature. And
when did you decide that you were an introvert and accept it?
I don't think I really knew and accepted the word until just a few years ago. But looking back on my life, I was always a homebody. I shied away from like people I knew. So I think I always was one. Just it wasn't that I labeled myself an introvert and then became an introvert. It's just I always was one.
So what are some of your fears?
I definitely have a fear of rejection. I mean, rejection still hurts. How
many times have you been rejected?
At least a few times, yeah. And it's hurt. I eventually got over it, but it's still painful. Painful enough to be still afraid of it.
You haven't accepted the fact that maybe, as everybody's different, the person that rejected you just had a right to, I guess, choose?
Yeah.
To not be your friend? As in basically not taking it personally, but just saying, accepting it and basically moving forward as opposed to maybe having it, like, stop your progress in the future.
Yeah.
Or affect your future efforts.
I have to say I haven't got to that point yet. Even just applying for jobs, it's just like sometimes I have to take a break because of just all the rejection. It's just like after a while I do take it personally. It's just I can't help it.
Well, how does this rejection feel exactly? It feels personal? It feels like an attack? Or is it something that you use to put yourself down? Like, can you get more specific? With how it feels? The
rejection, it hurts. It hurts. It's not anger towards that person. It's just it contributes to, it turns kind of into self-loathing and just like what is wrong with me, and just like why don't they want to be my friends?
So it all turns around.
Yeah, it turns around.
Works against yourself.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But what about that point where when you're by yourself, you know who you are, and you know that these reasons or excuses, whatever you think someone else has said about you or is thinking about you, when you realize when you're by yourself that is not true, why would that hold any weight still? A perceived reality when you know who you really are and that these things aren't true.
I think those moments of rejection must bring me back to something. I don't necessarily know what at this point, but there must be something like visceral and very deep going on there that I, as of yet, have not examined yet.
So it's a potential trigger? Because in the moment now, where you're at now in life, like I said, you know exactly who you are.
Yeah.
So how could that?
Yeah. Yeah, I get your point. It's like, why should it affect me? I mean, I know who I am. I know my qualities.
It's okay to maybe like temporarily or for a short period of time.
Yeah.
You don't feel that way, but again, it's like I guess we discussed this earlier. The only issue is, I suppose, anything negative just carrying over for either months or years or an extended period of time because, again, if I had to put myself in those shoes, I think the only time I would get hurt by getting rejected by somebody was if I held them in high esteem, if I had them on a pedestal, or if I praised them for any reason and, you know, I wanted to be their friend and they didn't want to be my friend back. But again, I don't know if I would let that hurt last because it's like, I just know that I'm not a bad person.
Yeah.
But then again, I actually will accept that if someone else sees me as a bad person, I will allow another person to keep their version of me or their translation of me. I wouldn't wish to control the way they perceive me. But at the same time, you know, and again, if I was wrong, if I did something wrong, yeah, that I'll admit, you know, if an error was made, you know.
Yeah.
And that would hurt too, but I would learn. It wouldn't necessarily, over time, like affect a future effort. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand what you're getting at, and that is unhealthy to hold on to something like that, and not, you know, try to find a way to move on at least. But yeah, I can only talk from my perspective. The rejection still hurts, and it hurts enough that I don't want to go through it if I can avoid it. But the trade-off is that I don't get to meet new people. I don't really get to meet new people as often, and it's kind of an empty life. And
here's the only thing that's strange to me is these rejections, right? You said that it was a few years back, right? To be exact.
A few years?
How long ago were these rejections that you're remembering, that you're holding in your memory? How far back does it go?
Oh, I mean, one was back from a couple of months. One was a year ago.
It's fine. A few months is good enough for me,
Yeah.
or even a year. It's good enough for me to say that, I mean, you've probably changed a lot in that time.
Yeah.
And usually, hopefully the other person changed since then. So I feel like when you go backward in time, people, yourself or someone else might just be in a different place mentally. And as more time goes by, you might be more open-minded now. Like there's room for
Yeah. I mean, that's
the
not
kind of change that, again, you don't have to hold to that event.
Yeah. I mean, that's not to say I haven't learned from my rejections. I have. I learned things about myself and what I need to work on. And, yeah.
You ever come up with any lies in your head? Lies as in, you know, for example, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not cool enough, I don't have the look. All that society, that visual stuff, you know?
Oh, no, yeah, that stuff goes on in my head, yeah.
What kind of stuff exactly are you
Just
saying to yourself?
Well, especially in terms of a relationship, it's just like, oh, I'm not attractive enough, and just in terms of a friendship, yeah, just what you said. I do have a battered self-esteem. I don't feel like I'm good enough. I don't feel like I'm attractive enough for, you know, somebody to love me, and yeah, I mean, over the years, my self-esteem has taken quite a beating, and I've been working the past few years to rebuild it, but it hasn't necessarily been easy.
You say you're rebuilding it. Where is it at now? Is it in good condition, or?
I I would say it's probably in good enough condition where I can probably try again